All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. This is the video that you want to see if you hold Bitcoin. Now, in today's video, I'm going to show you the metrics when it comes to people buying Bitcoin. We're going to talk about what smart money is doing this time. We're even going to get to a CNN interview and some recent news. It's going to be a great video. And just like always, guys, if you appreciate videos like this, give us a like.
Can't you understand what's happening here? Don't you see what's happening? Potter isn't selling, Potter's buying. And why? Because we're panicky and he's not. That's why. He's picking up some bargain. Now, we can get through this thing all right.
Smart money isn't selling right now. Smart money isn't day trading. Smart money isn't doing much besides buying or hodling. In fact, we're going to talk about exactly what smart money is doing. What you have before you is 21 Bitcoin charts, courtesy of coinmetrics.com, that tell a rather bullish story. Well, we're actually not going to read most of these charts. I'm going to leave a link to all this stuff in the description so you can take a look at this yourself. I'm going to start off right here. The question is, how many addresses have at least one Bitcoin? And the answer would be this blue line right below. And as you can see, we are at an all-time high for addresses that hold at least one Bitcoin. The virus is spreading. Would you imagine that? I mean, you knew that people were buying Bitcoin back in 2015, 16, 17. Everybody was buying Bitcoin over here. It was hard to buy one Bitcoin at $20,000. Is it interesting to note that in 2018, the number kept rising, and in 2019, the number kept rising, and never before in Bitcoin's 10-year history have more people owned one Bitcoin. I know the first thing that you're going to comment below, you're going to say, well, this is just addresses that have at least one Bitcoin. You know that many people have more than one Bitcoin address. And of course, that is completely true. I actually think it's more like a little bit of both. You know, you don't know exactly if these are different people or the same person, but I think generally speaking, an uptrend like this is what we want to see. Now let's go even further. The number of addresses holding at least 10 Bitcoins recently hit an all-time high as well. You can see here, specifically in the last few months, we have seen a severe uptick in addresses that hold 10 Bitcoin, possibly thinking that, we're having a little launch platform right here. And what we've seen in past bull markets is once Bitcoin rallies up, reaches a little launch platform, eventually it's going to rally up again and we're never going to see these prices again. Is that what people are thinking? Now, we don't really know. And again, of course, it's possible that one person owns multiple addresses that have one Bitcoin or 10 Bitcoin, but either way, this is bullish. I'm sure it's a little bit of both. Next up, let's take into account the whole market. You're going to see across the board, taking into account Bitcoin's inflation curve, Bitcoin wealth continues to grow and become more distributed and decentralized over time. So whether we're talking about addresses with 0.001 Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin, or 1 Bitcoin, this continues to increase and outpace the growing supply. And this is it. Now, the next question is, I don't know what you've been doing in the past few months. Just generally speaking, I've been cost averaging a lot ever since Bitcoin was $6,000 right here. I bought a lot down here, and I've been picking my spots over the last few months as well. Let me show you what smart money is doing. And for this, I'm going to refer to a guy that I follow, Bob Lucas. He also follows me. And Bob Lucas, of course, famous for the 4-year cycle, the 4-year journey. This is what smart money does. You can see that he is trying to purchase 6.5 Bitcoin for a price of $8,500. And if Bitcoin never gets that low, he's already got his position allocated. But if Bitcoin dips low enough, he is going to buy it. I actually like this discussion he had with somebody who follows him. The King of Nothing says, should have bought all these Bitcoin at 3K 8 months ago. Bob Lucas says, well, I bought 25 of them. That was enough then, smiley face. The King of Nothing goes, I understand the order, but why not just DCA, dollar cost average, buying every week? Take the price targets out of it and just stack sats. Much more relaxing. Wink. Bob Lucas says, because you end up paying more on the way up. When my price, I got all that I wanted. Dollar cost averaging is only a good strategy for those investing who need to allocate small amounts to the market as they earn it. If you have the money, allocate it. For me, you have to be crazy dollar cost averaging above $20,000 all the way up, same way you would be crazy dollar cost averaging above $1,500 in 2017. You get your allocation early and cheap, you scale out late and expensive. I like this. The King of Nothing says, in the long run, dollar cost averaging is the best way to go, in my opinion. Bob Lucas says, okay, but like it or not, this is what smart money is doing, and I wanted to show you that. So people are buying Bitcoin at this time. People are buying Bitcoin down here, people are buying Bitcoin down here, and you can see how that is affecting the metrics when it comes to on-chain data. All right, the next thing that I want to show you is this piece that CNN covered the other day about the crypto company Lolli. Now, I don't have any affiliation with Lolli. I went to the Lolli meetup that Wendy O and we put on a couple weeks ago. It's really fun. As you know, Lolli is this, you can pay, if you're going to pay for things online anyway, why not use Lolli and get some Bitcoin back? But what I want to show you is the middle part of this interview where the CEO talks about the types of people who are using Lolli. And he mentions that 50%, close to 50% of people using Lolli are actually not old to Bitcoin, but they're new to Bitcoin. So check this out.
How many of the people that are doing this are already comfortable with cryptocurrency versus people that are just learning new and then go on to accept perhaps more cryptocurrency as they continue to shop?
So that's a great question, because a lot of what we're doing is we're trying to introduce new people into Bitcoin.
Yes.
And into this space. So when we first started, it was a lot of Bitcoin maximalists, people who already had Bitcoin that wanted more. And it was almost entirely that.
Yeah.
As we've continued to grow, we found that those people can finally share an application with their friends and their family for them to earn Bitcoin. So what we found is we're nearing 50% of our users are now new to Bitcoin, which is really, really exciting.
So it is an on-ramp, basically,
Yes.
to cryptocurrency use.
And we're just getting started. So everyone can get in really, really early. We launched a year ago, and so we just started. We have almost 1,000 merchant partners, and we have tens of thousands of users that are earning Bitcoin every day on their everyday purchases.
So that's obviously a really good thing when it comes to, this is just another on-ramp for people to get into it. Now, another part of this interview is their expansion. Let's watch this clip real quick.
What does the future look like for Lolli? Talk to me about your plans, expansion plans, what you're working on right now.
So we've just started work on a mobile app, and that mobile app is going to let everybody earn so easily and on daily purchases. Right now, you can earn on all online purchases with about 1,000 merchants all across the US.
Yes.
Part of our expansion is going into mobile, and so you can have that web wallet and your mobile wallet, and you can earn on daily purchases, going and getting your coffee, all the way to your flight for work or your office supplies, whatever. We want every single purchase to drive attention to Bitcoin and for you to be able to earn on everything, similar to points.
Is anyone else doing this?
Not as well as us. We're the first, and I'm biased, but I think we're the best.
So the fact that they're expanding to where you can use Lolli for even if you walk into brick and mortar stores. You remember when we reported on Lolli expanding to 900 retail locations. This was news a couple months ago. They have partnered with 750 merchants online, including Walmart, Macy's, and Priceline. So Walmart is America. And the fact that, I mean, you can kind of see, I think it was Marty Bent and Matt Odell on the Tales from the Crypt podcast, where they mentioned that what Lolli is doing is going to weaponize the American people into pumping the price of Bitcoin over the next couple years. So it's an interesting way to think about it. So this next piece of news, I thought this was really interesting. If you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you're going to be into this. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist, I'm a Bitcoin fundamentalist. But either way, if you store your crypto on cold storage, this is what you want to hear about. You know that I like, the two biggest names in cold storage are Trezor, which I hear is really good, or Ledger, which is what I use. We have affiliate links to Ledger products in the description. Check those out on every video. Definitely store your Bitcoin on some sort of cold storage. If you're only interested in storing your Bitcoin, if you're only into Bitcoin, check out this new thing from Trezor. This is their post. The community has spoken, and once again we deliver. We are thrilled to announce that the beta version of our new Bitcoin-only firmware is now available to download for both Trezor 1 and Trezor Model T. We aim to introduce a stable version of Bitcoin-only firmware in the next month's release. So they're releasing cold storage that you don't have to deal with any of this altcoin software or firmware or whatever. It's just for Bitcoin. And I guess the advantages for this, I made a note, is that lower attack surface due to simpler firmware, simpler and thus more secure user experience without confusing extra choices with risk of picking the wrong one and losing your funds. So if you are a Bitcoin maximalist or fundamentalist, or if this is something that appeals to you, just know that Trezor has your back. Ledger is also good. Check out our links in the description. Final piece of news, Binance US plans to begin onboarding customers next week. So the platform will be open to registration and deposits on September 18th. After registration, 6 cryptocurrencies will be available for deposits, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Bcash, Litecoin, and Tether. And then trading will commence later at an undisclosed date. So I wanted to keep you updated with that Binance information since it is one of the biggest exchanges. That is it for me, my friends. My name is Aaron at Altcoin Daily. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, follow us, like the video, and I will see you tomorrow.